We have the family of Luke Butler in the studio. They are back, folks. It's good to see you guys. How are you?
We're good.
Good to see you. All right. Last time I saw you guys was at the Dallas Clark and the Evening with the Stars, right?
Yes.
So let's see here. We should kind of explain who Luke Butler was. He was a Make-A-Wish kid, and he got his wish granted last year during the Request-A-Thon, right?
Yep.
He actually came back to tell us all about it. He went to the Dole plant, right?
Mm-hmm. The Dole plantation in the Dole pineapple plantation in Oahu.
Oahu. So he wanted to see where. So tell this story. I mean, explain what he wanted. What was his wish? Why did he go to the Dole plant?
Luke's wish was to, his original wish was to go to a tropical paradise where he wanted to build sandcastles with his brothers. He has two brothers. And
What's up?
and wanted to see how pineapples grow. Luke loved to garden. He loved plants. He loved anything outside. And so he wanted to see, that's not something that grows in Indiana, so he wanted to see pineapples grow. And so Make-A-Wish generously granted Luke's wish to send him to the Dole pineapple plantation in Oahu.
Isn't that amazing? So what was that like? What was tell me about how the trip was. And
the whole family went, right?
The whole family went.
The brothers,
how was it, Benjamin?
Everybody went. And here, Benjamin, tell them a little bit about what you think was the best in Hawaii.
Well, I like to go boogie boarding.
Nice.
Boogie boarding,
Yeah. And Samuel, what were you thinking about? That was one of your favorite things in Hawaii.
Here, Sam, talk right now.
Bud.
Watching the waves on the North Shore.
The North Shore. That's what Luke said. Something about the North Shore.
Mm-hmm.
Those waves are so big, right?
Yes, we're the. And then our pinnacle of our vacation was the afternoon that we spent at the Dole pineapple plantation, where we got to see them grow and see miles and miles worth of pineapple plants and ride on the Pineapple Express, and we had a wonderful time.
What's the Pineapple Express? What was that?
It's the train that takes you through the fields.
Oh, is that right?
That's cool.
Yes.
And there's thousands of pineapples out there. That must be amazing.
As far as you can see is pineapple plants.
Love pineapples. Now, why did you
Have you ever seen Luke happier? I mean, I can't imagine a better place for him to be.
No. Here, go ahead.
Oh, it's just probably for our whole family.
Yeah.
It was just the highlight. Seriously, the highlight of Luke's life, that trip.
That was really, it turned out to be the only family vacation that we ever took, just the five of us. We had traveled with our family, but of just taking just our family, it was the only vacation that we ever got to take. And we, having that wish granted for Luke has left us with memories that when Luke died at the end of August, so we're just a couple months out here, and when our hearts just can't take it anymore, our heads go back to our time that we spent in Hawaii and seeing our boys on the beach together, enjoying each other. And, the generosity of people to grant this wish for Luke has left us with an amazing set of memories that we will cherish and hold on to, for the rest of our lives. And the boys can look back and see that wonderful time with their brother where we just played and enjoyed each other. And, Luke wasn't, he had a great week that week with his health, and, we just enjoyed each other, and the memories that we have of that is priceless for us.
Why did he when he came in here last year? He brought in a coconut.
Yes, and we brought coconutty today.
Is that the
is
original
the one.
coconut?
This is the original coconut. He
Oh my
brought
gosh.
it last year, and
That
I have
is-
a picture of him sitting here right
Yes.
with it.
This is the
And,
illegal coconut.
This is
illegal
the
coconut.
one that you smuggled on a plane
Yes.
across
We
the
did.
country.
And I hope it shows up. But for all of his friends in Mrs. Butz's Reach class at Brooks School Elementary, I want to give it a little shake because he brought it into school the first day. He was in the hospital the first day of school, and he got out that evening, and he was able to come back for 7 days to school before he went into the hospital for the last time, and died soon after that. And one of the things he brought in, he had to bring 5 things in to tell about himself, and one of them, the very first thing he put in was his coconut, because he was very proud of his affiliation with Make-A-Wish and to remember his trip. And so one of the things that they did in the classroom was they all got to shake his coconut. So I'm going to shake his coconut.
was pretty intense. I got to shake that last year too. I got to shake that coconut.
For all of his classmates, this year, so that was really special.
I remember asking him about it. He was like, "Well, can you drink the milk out of it?" He's like, "You can't." He's like, "Silly, it's you can't drink the milk out of this thing."
Yes, thankfully it's an immature coconut, and so it's all dried out, so we can enjoy it for years to come.
I believe we referred to Smiley as an immature coconut last year when we were talking about this.
Oh man, you guys miss your brother? Probably miss your brother a lot, don't you? Yeah, we do too. He was an incredible kid. Just that spirit around here, and how he just wanted to help others too. I mean, he was always out there. I guess during the last few months of his life, he was going around doing fundraisers and the sandwich.
He participated in the sandwich.
Panera.
He had what was it? The double meat triple cheese.
Double meat triple cheese.
That was his sandwich.
Yes,
that was his sandwich.
Yeah.
We have a special tribute song I want to play, and then we can talk some more about Luke Butler. And if you want to make a donation, call in now, and we'll make a wish come true right here during the show. The phone number is 228-1099. This is a tribute to Luke Butler.
Luke has a lung condition, which his lungs are kind of slowly destroying themselves, and the blood vessels in his lungs bleed frequently, and so then he bleeds into his lungs.
Sometimes my chest hurts.
Do you have to go to the hospital a lot?
Yes, 11 times.
What was your wish?
To see pineapples.
To see pineapples.
He's a gardener, and so he wanted to see pineapples grow. So we are going to tell him, Lukey.
To the Dole Pineapple Plantation to Oahu.
Wow.
Over the rainbow, way up high, and the dreams that you dream of once in a love.
Does he let you grow things on his farm?
Well, he gave me a bunch of corn kernels, so I'm going to plant them by his house next year.
In honor of Luke Butler here on the Smiley Morning Show, the Request-A-Thon 2011. He surely is missed. Man, his spirit, his energy is just amazing. And I couldn't believe it when we heard about it. It's just like he was just doing a fundraiser in the paper. There's a newspaper article about him.
We had seen the article about the sandwich promotion with Panera Bread, and I saw his picture.
I was like, oh my God, there's Luke Butler.
There he is,
the kid
and
with
he's
the
doing
pineapple
so
kid.
good.
It all moved pretty quickly for him. We've had trouble for the last couple of years, but right after we were on the Wish-A-Thon last year, about 2 weeks later, he had his first of several massive bleeds. And
what was his condition again?
He had pulmonary vein stenosis and pulmonary hypertension, and for whatever reason, his lungs remodeled himself to have large amounts of abnormal blood vessels, which would rupture and then bleed into his lungs, which was causing chronic lung damage. But then last year after the Wish-A-Thon, he started to have massive bleeds, life-threatening large, and he ended up in and out of the hospital for several months, and we almost lost him in February. He was they had to put him on the ventilator, and it was very touch and go for a little while. But he made and then we went to have an evaluation for his lung transplant, and he was listed, not active, but we were trying to hold off as long as we could with it. But he had been accepted into the program in St. Louis, and we were on board to do that. And he made an incredible recovery in the wintertime. We just couldn't believe, that he recovered as well as he did. And we had a fair couple months, but his, respiratory status had really, started to decline there. And really in August is when we really started to see a decline set in for him. He was having a lot more pain, a lot more bleeding, and his shortness of breath was really becoming quite prominent. And we went with Keith's side of the family on vacation in August and barely made it through that one. And he was back in the ICU the day after we got home. And he was in for a week and a half, and we got to bring him home for 10 days. 7 of those he got to go back to school, which he was thrilled
Did he
about.
really?
Yeah. And
how did that go? Was he so he's healthy enough to go to school? I mean, did he have less energy, or how did that affect him there?
Healthy enough, or
he
wanted
would get
to?
out of breath, a little more.
Yeah.
He actually had somebody carry his book bag, which we didn't actually know about at the time, but
because he was getting too short of breath carrying it from the bus to his classroom. And...
I mean, because I guess one thing that was nice when he was out of the hospital, generally, I mean, he would get out of breath and have some effects, obviously, but he was able to live pretty normal life when he was out of the hospital. But so he was getting more like he got out of breath playing kickball when we were on vacation. We remember that was like a big change from how he was before. So. Yeah.
And he went to school that Friday. And actually went to the Colts game on Friday. It was not very pretty. We had to bring his oxygen, and we had to leave because he had a bleed. But he then on Saturday went to our baby shower. We have a 2-month-old today, and of his sister, and went to his baby shower. And he was really feeling poorly and was having several bleeds and was hurting a lot. And told us that he thought his lungs were getting worse. And he knew that things were changing for him, and we were back at Riley that night, and he died Monday morning of a massive bleed.
Wow! If you're listening to this, call in and let's help other kids. Have their wishes granted. You can call in 228-1099. Who's this child we're talking about?
10-year-old Jace.
Jace. Okay.
Yeah, Jace wants to go on a Nickelodeon cruise. He is dealing with Duchenne's muscular dystrophy, which is a rapidly progressive loss of muscle function.
Okay. All right. Jace is his name. Let's call and let's grant this wish. Let's make this happen today. Well, we've got the Butler family in here. Yeah. I know the kids wanted to say something, too, about Luke. I'll get each of them a little chance here to say something. Let's start with you. Come on, Benjamin. You want to say something about Luke?
6830. Remember what you were talking about in the car?
It's just us.
About getting out of breath. Oh, are you getting shy?
Getting shy?
That's okay.
It's okay. Samuel, would you like to go? Remember what you were talking about in the car about Luke?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right here.
And even though he often got out of breath, you never let that stop him from being just normal, adventurous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's okay. And Luke had a passion for Make-A-Wish, and he was so grateful and thankful for the gift that we were given for our family. And we recently had to close out Luke's savings account, which he was very, very proud of. So on behalf of Luke, he has donated his $226 that was in his
awesome.
Checking account.
Aww.
And we also brought for you his very first time in here. He was talking about his corn.
Yeah,
Remember that 2 years ago?
Yes.
He was a gardener and planted corn, and he planted his field of corn again this spring, but he died before we could harvest it.
Yes,
and so his brothers harvested
God.
about 2 weeks after he died, and so we brought you both in a piece of his field corn.
Oh, that is
Thank
awesome.
you so much.
Let me take a look at that corn.
Oh, yeah. Pass
Here's
one
some corn
over.
for you.
Thank you, Benjamin and
Corn
Samuel.
for
This
me.
is amazing. This means so much.
Can I use a couple kernels and make some popcorn out of it?
Field corn does that.
Oh, it doesn't pop. I don't know.
No.
I'm not much of a gardener. Thank you guys for coming in here.
Yeah,
I really
you.
appreciate it.
Well,
nice.
we are just so appreciative of everybody that donates because, as I said last year, granting wishes for these kids isn't just a thing or a trip. You're giving families memories and time with their children. That is invaluable for, however their journey ends with their child.
Thank you.
And we would like to thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
12:30. The Request-A-Thon continues.
Thank you, Benjamin.
Right after this. Thank you, guys. Introduce us. What kind of music do you like?
Single ladies.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
really?
interesting.
We can do that.
All right. So I'm going to have you say your name, introduce yourself. So you'll say, hey, what is your name?
Luke Butler.
Luke Butler.
Luke Butler. So, hey, this is Luke Butler. You're on Z99.5, and here's Beyonce. That's Beyonce, right?
Yeah.
All the single ladies? Okay, so why don't you just introduce yourself and then introduce Single Ladies by Beyonce, okay? Let's hear what you do. Go ahead.
If you like, then you put a ring on it. If you like, then you put a ring on All the single ladies.
Was that fantastic?
That was really good, Luke.
I was thinking he was going to introduce the song, but instead he sang it.
Yeah. You do that sometimes.
I do that all the time.
Yeah.
I do that all
Decide between single ladies and